In this video, I'll demonstrate the process of registering for a new account in the Clean Truck Check Vehicle Inspection Portal, also known as CTC-VIS. An account in CTC-VIS is required to manage a vehicle or fleet of vehicles, make payments, and view deadlines and submitted emission test results in the Clean Truck Check program. Let's get started and enter the URL for CTC-VIS into a browser. cleantruckcheck.arb.ca.gov. At the left of the page are the login and create an account links. On the right are links to the compliance lookup tool and helpful resources about Clean Truck Check, like the credentialed tester list, guides for CTC-VIS, and approved Clean Truck Check emissions testing devices. Since we're creating a new CTC-VIS account in this demo, I'll click on the Create an Account link to start the process. The next page will begin step 1 of the process, and in the first drop-down box, I'll select which type of user account I'm creating. There are two types of accounts, Entity and Credentialed Tester. In this demonstration, I'll select the Entity account, since I'm creating a new account to manage a vehicle or a fleet owned by a company, a government entity, or an individual person. In the username box, I'll enter the email address that I'd like to use to manage this CTC-VIS account. This email address will be used to verify the account, recover a forgotten password, and receive official communication from the California Air Resources Board regarding Clean Truck Check. After re-entering the email address to confirm, I'll click Continue at the bottom of this page. In step 2, I'll enter additional information about the entity type, account address, and the responsible official contact information. In this example, I'll demonstrate creating a CTC-VIS account for an individual owner with one or more vehicles reporting for Clean Truck Check. I'll click the Entity Type drop-down box and select Individual. Other entity options available in the drop-down box include Company and Government. Next, I'll enter the physical address information, which is where the entity or vehicles are located. In this demonstration, I'm checking the box to indicate the physical and mailing addresses are the same. However, a different mailing address for the new account can be entered here if needed. Once I've completed entering the address information, I'll click the Verify button. This is the address verification screen. In this example, the verification applied a 9-digit zip code instead of the original 5-digit zip code I entered. To continue, I'll choose to select the suggested address with the 9-digit zip code and then click Save. Now the address is verified, and the Verified button I previously clicked should disappear and become a green Verified indicator. I'll continue to the next field where I'll enter the responsible official information for the new account. Username here should be automatically filled in with the email address that I initially entered in step 1. I'll enter the required fields here, which are first name, last name, and the mobile phone number of the individual responsible for the new CTC-VIS account. I'll then click the Next button to move on to the next step. Step 3 is an acknowledgement to certify that the information provided in steps 1 and 2 are true, correct, and complete. Click the box next to the statement to certify. After checking the acknowledgement box, the email address provided as the account username in step 1 should automatically populate. From here, I'll have the option to either review my previous entries by clicking Preview Submission Summary, or complete the submission by clicking the Submit button at the bottom of the page. To continue on, I'll click the Submit button and move to the next step. Step 4 is the confirmation screen. Within a few minutes of seeing this screen, the email address I provided should receive 2 confirmation emails. I'll now access my email account to complete the authentication via Okta, the service used for new CTC-VIS account authentication. This is an example of my email inbox with two CTC-VIS confirmation emails. I'll focus on the authentication email that will connect me to Okta to complete my new CTC-VIS account authentication. The authentication email is highlighted here and should have a subject of Welcome to Carb from Carb Admin. I'll open the email message, which should look like this example. Note that the username should match the email address that I provided in step 1. And, as I'd previously mentioned, Okta is indicated in this email, along with a Activate Carb Account link. I'll click the Activate Carb Account link, which will open the link in a browser window. Clicking the Activate Carb Account link brings me to this page. Note that my email address that I used to set up the CTC-VIS account is shown at the top of the screen. To begin the process of setting a password for my CTC-VIS account, I'll click the Setup button to move to the next screen. I'll now create a password that matches the password requirements and enter it into the first field. I'll then re-enter our newly created password for confirmation in the second field and click the Next button. If my passwords meet the requirements and match, the next screen should look like this, indicating that I'm now logged into my new CTC-VIS account. Note that under Account Information, my new account will have a unique UEID, and the entity's name should match the information submitted for the responsible official that I entered in Step 2 of account registration. My account also indicates that I need to register a vehicle to CTC-VIS. This is because an entity account requires at least one vehicle to manage in CTC-VIS. At this point, congratulations, we're done with account creation. You can now move on to vehicle entry in CTC-VIS, which we'll demonstrate in a separate video.